Boom. Greetings, everyone. Millions watching around the earth, across the earth. We're going to keep going with my study of PT's book, Scriptures for the Now. We're going to stay focused, let go of the distraction of Babylon. There's a lot of distractions out there, especially in our times. It's filled with distractions. So important to starve your distraction, feed your focus. So that's what I come to do here. Feed my focus. So let's go. Not all right when not right at all. There is a constant, almost lunatic repetition of it's all right. Everything's going to be all right. It's going to be all right in the so-called West. It's a pathetic, impractical joke they play on themselves. Because nothing is ever going to be all right in their hell-bound, not right way. Not until the way is changed completely. And cows are treated right. Those who mistreat, kill cows, find hell in this life. And experience it in their afterlife too. There is no doubt in that fact. A fact is a fact. Yeah. Cow is the very representation of earth. It's the mother principle on this plane. Those who unleash violence against the cow have no right to and will not last on this earth. Le Gita de paix. Peace, Gita. The one I'm reading here. Oh, it's on my finger. I don't know. So, yeah. Nice blue background. So what goes in? Those who cannot even take responsibility for what goes into their mouth cannot be expected to take responsibility for anything else, including their soul. They can't be bothered about how the animal was killed, who killed it, how was it kept, what was it fed, what is their relation to it. All they care about is the meat on the plate, which they can gobble up mindlessly and use that negative Tamazic cursed energy for mindless, pointless pursuit. And what to say of those who praise these actions and pursuit? Meat and violence. In the so-called West, they have gone to great lengths to disconnect themselves from what they eat. So if it's beef one is eating, it has nothing to do with a cow. When one is eating pork, it has nothing to do with a pig. When one is eating a mouton, it has nothing to do with a sheep. And so on and so forth. Live stream starting soon. I think it's already started. Yeah. So, yeah, there is not much wanting to know how that stuff got to their plate either. And uncivilized to even mention the violence involved. Just close your senses, mind, heart, and chew. Talk about head in the sand. In the wonky witch's tale. Funny how the very same people talk about love, freedom, and justice. True, true. The meat consciousness, based on unnecessary violence towards animals, which is prevalent on this planet, makes it impossible for there to be any real positive change. Most cannot even fathom that violence amongst people cannot be stopped unless violence towards fellow creatures is stopped. As long as there are cages for chicken and cows, there will be cages for Homo erectus too. What they the way they cut them down, the same way they will be cut down too. The meat spell. There are forces which are making meat easily available in huge amounts in big stores. Beings all over this planet are falling for it, pigging out and turning into pigs and beasts. Never has so much meat been available. Even all hunters' tribes only hate to survive. When you have to kill to eat, gluttony is not easy to come by. They haven't been told the price they will pay for it. Let them be informed that it would be way beyond their debit and credit cards. It's common knowledge what pigs are fattening for. Cruel, unnecessary, spirit sapping dependency. When people get to hear about facts like many of the pills they buy at pharmacies, including antidepressant, Viagra, etc., are made from bodies of Homo sapiens, from body of Homo sapiens, they get panicky. They think cannibal is only reserved for movies. They don't see how easily this kind of dependency comes about when a certain path is taken. Nowadays, it's easy for many people to get into a state where they say they can't have a meal without chicken. And then soon it is they cannot eat a meal without cow's meat. So where is the line drawn? Which will stop them from feeling the same way about Homo sapiens and their organs. So those who have gone down this path have become the real Raksasas. Now vampires are not just in movies, they are a reality. A straightforward result of turning against the vine. Torture removal. Torture removal. Most people on this planet are torturing their own bodies on self-destruction mode, auto-destruction mode. Their own bodies or the bodies of others. Mostly they are doing both. Most don't even realize they are doing it. This is done under various guise, from duty to love to spirituality. The fact is, nothing real like true bliss or happiness or evolution can ever be achieved through torture. Oh, something started to. Divine is comfort oriented. Orientated. Yeah. Not torture oriented. Oriented. Okay, I got it. Divine is comfort oriented, not torture oriented. Only evil creates false notion like no pain, no gain. The truth is no pain, no gain, true pain. Only gain comes through praise of divine, and that doesn't require any pain or torture. Unconscious zombies. Unconscious zombies. This world is full of unconscious zombies who keep on screaming, ouch, after they hit stones and walls continuously in their unrestrained unconsciousness. Put their hand in fire time after time and forget that it burns from the last time. To get conscious is a choice, and not many seem interested as they have no shame about being unconscious. No shame. Automatic consciousness? Question mark. Automatic consciousness. People here strive for a lot of things. I make myself laugh often. People here strive for a lot of things, but they take consciousness for granted as if anything which is born will automatically have consciousness. Consciousness is not an automatic thing. It is something which one has to strive for continuously. Because if one lets up, even for a second, one loses it. The art of deliberating, ignoring. Give me a second. I will check if I am live right now because there's nobody really in the chat to let me know. Yes, I have sound. There's nobody really in the chat to let me know. Okay, good. I heard the sound. Everything's good. The art of deliberate. Oh, I have one watcher. Me. On my other screen here. Yeah. Good. Okay. The art of deliberate ignoring. The gene snakes haven't learned much in their long crawl out here. But they have all seemed to have learned the noble art of deliberate ignoring. Some are more expert at it than others. It goes like this. Whenever they see some being more interesting and attractive than themselves, and thus naturally feel drawn towards it, they immediately retract and feign that they are not interested at all. Instead, they try to attract the other being in their limited ways. Males usually jump around crazily, showing off their physical prowess. Females jut out their mammary glands and change their gait. Couples start snugging each other after making sure they are in line of sight. Some try and show off their skills, knowledge, and loud conversations. Some just pretend to be overly happy and satisfied. Some start staring into their mobile with unflinching penance like concentration. Some go to crazy lengths to appear busy. Nothing subtle about this art. What they hope to gain from this strategy, besides giving the higher being some laughs, is hard to conceive after all. Who needs who? Boring and interesting. Boring and interesting. Fact. Many are bored. Really bored. So bored that the safety mindlessly associated with boring has gotten boring too. Hold on. So fact. Many are bored. Really bored. So bored that the safety mindlessly associated with boring has gotten boring too. Mindlessly, I say, because boring equals safe means dumb equals safe. Dumbness leads to accidents, disaster, not safety. So why do they cling to the dumb and boring and not make a movement towards the more intelligent and interesting? Interesting not in the sense of bungee jumping, because that gets boring too after one or two tries. Interesting in terms of the real knowledge of all aspects of multiversal existence. Like, really interesting. In this hyper connected world. Oh, hold on. In this hyper connected world. Hold on, I got a cough. Hold on. Okay, I'm here. So yeah. So in this hyper connected world, where more interesting can always be found, where interesting can always be found, there are no excuses, but still very actually are able to do it. Maybe this scenario will help explain. People on buses, trains, airport hide their faces in books that lead nowhere and pretend that they never saw you. They would be the same even if God walked by. A difficult to pull off act considering the huge gulf between interesting and boring at play in the situation, but they achieve the impossible by robotically repeating this holy chant loudly in their head. Book is more important. Book is more important. I have chosen the book. My choice is number one priority. I am in control of the book. Through the book, I am in control of the situation. Replace book with pet, partner, mobile, and so forth, and you get the picture. The biggest addiction, only real epidemic. Contrary to general belief, is not it's not alcohol or drugs most beings here are addicted to. Getting attention from others is the biggest addiction out here. It takes them all straight to hell. Giving attention to higher and divine and praise with proper diction is the only cure for this massive addiction. Jumping and yelling. Jumping and yelling. Okay. So lots of beastie and bratty jumping and yelling. Going on by the various gene snakes. Here to get attention, some more than others. They call it music, sports, etc., etc. What they would actually do with each other's attentions remain a mystery. Remain a mystery. The mass and masses. Deep down, everyone at some point. Deep down, everyone at some point or other feels small. But when one is actually confronted with something higher, treating one as one have to be treated, one's reaction is that of unease. Through the peculiar functioning of the ego, one knows one is small. But in society, one is always used to being treated like one isn't. There is a whole net of mutual assurance in place to keep the ego afloat. Thus, the term mass mutual assurance society. No real evolution is possible without the ego cracking, something which is taboo in this celebration of the self world. Buildings. What to do? What do people really believe in these days? Buildings. Is the simple answer: in buildings we trust, not God or divine, just concrete, glass, and metal. Ugly and unbreathable. That's why they happily send their kids to so called universities, which is nothing but a bunch of buildings. What do buildings have to do with imparting any real knowledge? They are just impressed by buildings, banks, towers, malls, courts, five-star hotels. They are the symbol for all that is right and all that is good. Building which actually negatively affect the human biology and soul. They gravitate to buildings like moths to a flame. The flames of hell in this case. They think these buildings will last forever and save them from wrath of the higher forces. All the evidence point to the contrary. Time will tell. Evan, next. Heaven, we'll take a break at about 30 minutes and I'll come back. I have to make a banner or something. Be back in 2 minutes. Yeah, that's what I'll. Banner. Create banner. Here we go. Let me move that mic a bit. Okay. Will be back in 2 minutes. There you go. There you go. When I take a little break, I'll put that banner. Great. Okay, the mic. So, heaven, what can be said of a planet? What can be said of a planet where the major faction of the population's idea of heaven is shopping malls? Concrete structures full of useless things, air conditionings, and bright lights, which can ruffle any electrobiological functionings. In other words, something really bad for human body and soul. Heaven used to be the name for self-sustaining EM field, which was entered through a fractal life and a successful death, where angels stayed the angel where the angels stayed the angels being the elements. Hospital. Hospital. A good place in the mind of the masses of this planet. Whosoever is getting them built is considered a good person. Just some children seems to be afraid of it. For good reason too. What it really is a cold, concrete, unfractal hellhole. Lit up by mind-numbing tube lights, made to suck life out of any biological entity. It is a place where they administer poisons and do butchery. It's better to die in an open field than die in an hospital. It's the very opposite of a place of healing, which is always made up of natural materials, and all cures are natural as well. All cure, the food can cure you also for many illness, just what we eat. Look at the food in the hospital. Disgusting. What they serve, if you are in the bed, how they call that, bedridden, something, confined to your bed, and you have to eat the hospital food. The nasty stuff. And it's all full of sugar. There's no nutrients. There's no nutrients in their food. They're very, very little. Everything is pasteurized. Everything is full of a preservative, and yeah. Anyway, so we'll take a little pause and we'll come back with the material science. So stay tuned, millions of you across the plain Earth. Okay, I'm here. So yeah, it was just a little pause, just to stretch my legs a bit, get up and move a little. I saw Bliss. Yeah, Bliss is in the chat. No, I didn't cut my hair. It's just I was training a bit earlier, and that might be the effect. Was on my bike. Yeah, I bike. Try every day to do at least 40-45 minutes on the bike and do some weights and stuff and stretching and the. I think it's a minimum that I do. I don't. But some people don't do that at all. I get it. Some don't move at all. To me, it's a very, very minimum I'm doing. I could do more. Like I have the time to do more. Eventually, maybe I'll bring up my rhythm. It's because I want to lose weight also. I gained weight a bit in the last 2 years, I would say. Yeah, last year, whatever. So now it's time to get rid of the excess weight. Yeah. Material science. Like I said, there was a period too. I was drinking maybe a bit more beer than usual. Not much, but if you drink a can every day, it adds up. So I've let go of that. Anyway, I have no addiction. I always drank beer because I like the taste, not so much for the effect, the alcohol effect. Never been a big fan of that. I'm a I'm a talker more than a drinker. So it wasn't hard for me to put aside, but yeah, and that gave me probably contributed to my beer belly. That's what my wife says. But I haven't been drinking beer for like long time now, close to a year, I'm sure. So no, it's not. Anyway, I don't miss that kind of stuff. Like I said, we drink and we heat our emotions. Basically, the most of it, we heat our emotions and drink them. So for a while, I might have been drinking my emotions and heating them. So now it's time to get back to Sharon Christopher, Sharon. Greetings, Sharon. So yeah, time to get back into gear and lose some excess weight. Anyway, I said it by the age of 50, I'll be fit. So I have a year and a few months. Material science. Out of sheer ignorance. Norm. Greetings, Norm. Greetings. Material science. Out of sheer ignorance as to what certain metals, alloys, concrete and other synthetic material do to one's body and aura. People of this planet keep on building edgy, ugly structures with these unfractal, unembeddable materials everywhere. Bonjour, bonjour. It's not just ugly to the eye to behold a tin roof concrete structure in the middle of a pristine nature spot. It actually disrupt the electromagnetic of the whole area. Stuff which eyes cannot see but can actually be measured. It is poisonous. It is poisonous in the same way artificial chemicals in food are poisonous. Only in this case, the results are seen, felt over time, and the cause remain unknown. Next time you have a migraine in your cramped concrete metro flat, please don't look around for a reason where they don't exist or listen to your doctor. Just try fresh air in a forest area. Science has now reached the point where it can scientifically prove that this is the case, but this information is not made available to the public. Where was I? I lost where I was. Okay. for the sake of protecting the interests of the construction companies and all the associated businesses in much the same way as truth about pills, drugs they sell at your local pharmacy is not revealed, in order to keep pharmaceutical companies in play and rich. Yeah. Blood clot. Yeah. There is still some awareness about pills, etc., amongst the masses, but material science is completely out of the awareness zone of the average person on the street. The net result is the same. The population of this planet poison itself and its environment. The blissless, the rulers of this psycho system, do not care. The blissless, depraved beings they are, just because they know they are going down in their rebellion with divine. They just want to take as many down with them. Boom! 5-star hotels. 5-star hotels. While the majority of the Earth population faces the ills of malnutrition and unhygienic living conditions, the so-called lucky people with the funny quantity called money face the hell that is 5-star hotel. The final Shangri-La of this system. 5-star stand for dingy, concretey, claustrophobic, unbreathable, and unfractal. Any real being with properly functioning nerves and biological processes can get headache, dizziness within half an hour. The food served there takes the digestive system on a roller coaster ride, while the air conditioning works on giving the guest a cold. All in all, a much more dangerous place for biological entities than any slum in an open field. Yeah. A whole lot of rubbish. A whole lot of rubbish. No matter where you go on this planet, you will encounter rubbish. In the so-called developed countries, it is sort of hidden in stockpiles called landfills, some of which are the size of small countries. In the so-called developing countries, it is strewn all over everywhere. You cannot miss it no matter how hard you try. All sacred places have it. All lovely nature places have it. There is some local variation. Beer bottles in the west, Gutka packets in the east. Development equals rubbish generation. More development means more rubbish. Most of it non-biodegradable. All this waste for nothing. Are people happier? No. It's a big no. We're not more happy. Wasteful actions of a wasteful people. Only rubbish spewing from their mouth, thoughts, and action. They talk about a whole lot of love, but the fact is just a whole lot of rubbish. It seems their love just produces rubbish. Its definition definitely needs looking into. The wash mania. The wash mania. Setting the record straight. Observation in this matrix. Live. Yannick, your host, Motivation Academy. with prochaine TVD is book. Peace Gita. This I'll get this way. Yeah. Peace Gita. If you want your own copy, send me an email. It's at the bottom, and we will make sure you receive one. I have some here, French and English. So if you are interested, send me an email. There is a whole lot of washing going on in this world. A whole lot of washing. People repeatedly rubbing and scrubbing themselves, their car, and their homes. This is a phenomenon. Seriously, that's something I always observed. It's crazy, especially here in Canada. The wash mania, sick. The waters around the world get polluted, but the filth never goes away. After a zillion baths, they still do not realize that only real filth is within. The enemy is not the dust, but the internal attitude, which is misaligned with the divine. And that won't go away by any amount of washing powders. Yeah. Culture and agriculture. The so-called West, which is basically just a term for translucent occupied territory, did not have any culture, so it is pointless to expect them to have agriculture. They did a really bad job of learning it too. And the worst part, they are spreading their own hellish, mechanical, chemical, genetically modified anti-life version all over the planet. And even worse part is that others have adopted this madness. Others have adopted this madness. I have to repeat this one. It's too good. Shoot them only. We cut out the string. Yeah. These. Boom. Bamboo. Bamboo. Shoot them. Norm. Yeah. Culture and agriculture. Let's repeat this one. It's important. The so-called West, which is basically just a term for translucent occupied territory, did not have any culture. So it is pointless to expect them to have agriculture. They did a really bad job at learning it too. And the worst part, they are spreading their own hellish, mechanical, chemical, genetically modified anti-life version all over the planet. And even the worst part is that others have adopted this madness. The network of shared madness. Oh, yeah, it's there. The myth of independence. That's a good one. Them can't stop man. No, they can't stop us. Look, the moment you start the moment you start thinking, it's a total different game because they can't capture your soul anymore. Like, think for yourself. Do your own homework. Do your homework. I said it often. Do your homework. No one will do it for you. I've done my homework. That's why I'm here. Think I came on YouTube from one day to another? No. I did a lot of homework. I read the Quran, the Bible, all the books on flat earth and shit like that. Everything. I digested all. And then I said, because I said before I go on YouTube, I have to know what I'm talking about. What people are freaking out on this earth about, like the religion and all that stuff. So I dove deep inside the rabbit hole But one day I came out and now I'm seeing the light. Now I'm more towards the light than the rabbit hole. That's why you won't see me here talk about so much their nonsense. I want us to evolve. I have love in my heart for myself, for my own being, for my well-being, but also for others. And I want us to evolve. So hence why I come and share this here. It's not to attract attention, or these are divine stuff that we should all digest at one point in our brain one day. So yeah, that's what motivates me to. That's what motivate me. Motivate better than motivate. Motivate me to come and share this with you, beautiful people of the earth. Yeah, boom. So myth of independence. I'm cooking something to eat while listening to you, Jenny. Good. Large up, bliss, bliss from Florida, beautiful Florida. Yeah. Myth of independence. Okay, we keep going with our study or observations, whatever. The word independence stands out amongst the many buzzwords. Freedom is a big buzzword these days. Freedom. Yeah. The word independence stands out amongst the many buzzwords of the 20th century. From an arbitrary reset, lots of violence has been unleashed for the sake of this word. Many proudly proclaim themselves as independent just because they are able to support themselves financially through one means or another, or the other. Sorry. So is financial independence independence? What about all the prisons in the mind? And is there any real financial independence? The day the bank says this credit account is not valid, one loses their fictional financial independence. Some goes for the hand-drawn line called countries. There have been major wars of independence. There's one taking place apparently right now. But until the animals are free, there will be no freedom. Until the land is free, there will be no freedom. We're all lost at sea, demanding stuff that is so crazy because we don't even see what needs to be free. We think, first of all, when I attain real freedom, for me, it's getting out of here, this earth, this realm, earth, and become a star up there in the cosmos. That's real freedom. Until there, I'm born in the system. I came on earth. It's full of controls, full of nonsense. So there's won't be no, like, I can't even have a piece of land. I come on earth. I'm born here, and I'm sure that the divine would lease me a piece of land or something. But no, we have nothing. We come naked and we leave naked. Yeah, I said it. That's it. So there's no freedom. So what are we doing just out there? Millions of us, apparently, in Canada, we're all standing up for freedom and stuff. But the animals are not free. So what? We can be free. We think we're going to get freedom from anything while the rest of the earth is captive. Total madness. Total madness. Anyway, it's crazy, this world, crazy. But they think that they are right. So what you gonna do? Go tell them, like, it's stuff you have to realize on your own. I haven't realized that you cannot petition the government. Why are you going out there to try to petition the government? Because they made you believe that we were one, that they were like us, but they're not. So it's pointless to petition them to go out to come. Who was saying that? I don't remember now. She said, "Oh, Cindy. Cindy." She said, "Ralph Smart as they seem." Oh yeah, Ralph. Ralph. I've checked Ralph for a while before, but his speech is not coherent. Like he's not coherent with a lot of stuff that is reality. Like he talks to please. I will never come here and to please you. You're gonna hear stuff from me that really might not fit your paradigm, or it does because you're here and you know what I'm talking about. But I don't. The government is no one friend. That's it. They're not like us. So if you expect that, it's all a script. And like I said to my son before, I said it's a theater. There's players on. There's a scene playing on the theater, but there's also a curtain. You don't see what's behind the curtain. So there's a lot. Sometimes there's more happening behind the curtain than in the front. So it's just a facade. It's a anyway. This Babylon stuff is very sinister and very well organized by the cabal. The cabal. So yeah. So we're filled with the illusion. So not only illusion, delusion also, because we think that what we do is the right thing to do in our insane mind. Like it's so. Listen. Now you're gonna say, okay, what we let them? No, the solution is that we start first of all by ourselves. Start first of all acquiring real knowledge of where you are, who you are, what are you doing here, what's the world functioning, how the bank function, how the government, like get real knowledge about that stuff, and then you can have a better perspective on what they have to offer you as the next distraction. Like it's always distraction after distraction. So yeah, Ralph, I've watched him for a bit, but I've stopped at one point because I don't know. It's just I don't know. I like mid station and stuff. Like I mid state, I mids love all day long, every minute of the day. No, it's not just like mid station should be a state of being. It's not something you do when you sit down with your legs crossed. It's your state of being. You know, it's a lifestyle. Lifestyle, if I can say, yeah. But yeah. So the word independence. So same goes for the end round line called countries. There have been major wars of independence in America, India, and the rest. But who get independent and from whom? To my eyes, it's still a united kingdom. In my eyes, we still have the queen on the dollar bill. So what are we talking about? Freedom? Think Canada is a free country? The queen's on the dollar bill, the $20 bill. This is just that. Is like, what the heck is this? Like it's a monarch, it's a feudal system féodal. Système féodal. Comme dans les temps medieval times. It hasn't changed. The same medieval system that was there in the 1600s, 1500s. Like, it's just now it's more behind the curtain, the secret societies and all their nonsense is behind the curtain, but again, it's in plain sight also. If we open our eyes, we can see a lot. If we can have a vision, not opening our eyes, because your eyes are open all day long, probably when you are awake. Might not be awake, but you're awake. Yeah, I gotta get an MRI on my back soon. When all fails by government, etc., they take us to war. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's just manipulation. They are perfect manipulator and stuff. We know that. So as long as we don't get our mind be captive of that fear, of that nonsense that they spread all over, uh, I give thanks every day that I'm alive and I'm not a captive of this shit stem, not captive of the shit stem. Yes, I probably encourage it in some way, somehow, because I pay bills and shit like all, but at least I can think and you know, there's one choice we all have. One choice we all have and we should consider a lot is where we put our attention during the day. Not talking for the year, for each and every day. Where do you put your attention? that's going to make who you are in the end, what you give attention to. So I try not to give attention too much to the nonsense going around because for sure, like you're going to see channels on YouTube that most people like to digest that negativity in a way, like all the stuff that we keep talking about day after day. Like a lot of channels on YouTube were talking about the convoy and all that stuff. Like we like to fit in. We like to fit in, and that was huge. There was a lot of people, so a lot of us, even me, I got caught up at the beginning. I wanted to fit in. I'm like, hey, that's the revolution. But then I started to look at it and from different angles and stuff, and found stuff very strange around it. So, like the fact that they were able to stay there for 3 weeks, very strange to me. If I go on the Champlain Bridge and block the Champlain Bridge with my car, get out and with pancarte and stuff, it won't take long before the SQ comes and tow me away and put me in jail or something. So how in the first place were they allowed or let be able to park and camp and have barbecues and hot hot tubs and all that shit on the street? Well, question that because I've never seen that. Usually a protest lasts a few so once you start observing and questioning, and that's probably all it was planned from a long time ago anyway, that convoy stuff. And one thing that I question also is why I've never seen anything on social media about it, inviting people to be part of it. No, one day to another, oh, huge convoy. I'm like, okay, but never really. Maybe I'm not on the right. Why was it streamed? Do you think they wanted them? Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure. Uh, for sure, I think the whole thing is a big stage. Is a big stage, and we follow like a mouton, like sheep all the time. So it's not hard to get the people to join into this because of the emotional level attached to it. We're very emotional beings, so we talk about freedom and rebellion and stuff. We're always mostly going to participate in big numbers because we all sense that there's something a little bit wrong with society. It's like majority of people know there's something wrong, but they don't know what is really wrong. Like they haven't done their homework, they just hear stuff. So and it's those people that you find in the street, those people that know there's something wrong, but they don't know what kind of beast we're against, the size of the beast we're against. So that's why yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's all a big psyop. I think it's not just because the government came and organized it. Probably they have many agencies in the background that start all kinds of stuff. When it goes and so much in the media, also when you see it often in the media, like it was the big news in the media were talking a lot about it. That's strange too. And when you see the media pick up a story, ask yourself questions. So I think it was announced USA is starting one now. Yeah, maybe, but I mean, it's never been like plastered on Facebook or whatever. Maybe I'm not don't follow the right people for that too. I'm more into reggae music and reggae band on Facebook and artists and stuff. So maybe I don't have the right crowd, but I'm not often on it either. Like it's not social media is not my force. No? Just YouTube. I like to come here and record my thoughts. Yeah. So what was I doing? United Kingdom. I finished with that. It's not over. There's 2 more pages. We'll finish with that tonight, and I'll be here tomorrow, 8 a.m. So all the so-called independent countries are all in debt to a mysterious organization called the World Bank. And all are dependent on it for loans. to keep their pseudo economies going. That's why everything's going up now in Canada. The inflation is going up like crazy because they print all kinds of money. So that's why when the Prime Minister of Ontario announced that he's gonna cancel the license plate fee for all the Ontarians, it's a freaking joke. That's not just another way to bring the inflation up. That's what they want. They want to crash the economy by bringing the inflation to such a high state that no one can buy anything. So I think that's what's happening. It looks that way. That's why there's no cars at the car dealer and stuff. Inflation is too high. Interest rate and all that stuff with their money, with their phony money. Yeah. So as long as they keep printing money, and that's why Trudeau also came out and offered at the beginning of this crisis, he offered $2,000 a month to all Canadians affected by the crisis. Imagine how much money that is. Instead of saying we're going to keep the Canada at work, we're going to keep the people productive and that, we're going to keep them with their livelihood and stuff, like with their living style. No, instead of that, shut down everything and put everyone home with $2,000 a month. Like total nonsense. And again, the more he spends, the more he prints. So it's not backed by gold. They print money out of thin air. Thin air. Not all the countries. Like if you go to Switzerland, it's different. But yeah, they print money out of thin air. So the more they print, the more in shit we are. So what did he offer? Cake to the peons? Yeah, he offered. He still today offer. Canada has all kinds of program you can apply for and get money if you don't work because of the crisis. Crisis. Not really a crisis. It's a delusion going on. Yeah. We know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's it. So c'est n'importe quoi. C'est n'importe quoi. C'est ça l'affaire. With the people in the... They're not in power. They think they are, but they're not. It's us. We are in power if we want to get there. That's the thing. So when all the so-called countries got their so-called independence, it was only a sham, as the strings were now going to be pulled through a more intangible control tool: money. Military control took too much effort. Financial control was far easier. No, that's why that's the tool they use, also the financial tool, to get those people out of Ottawa, because they went with the War Measures Act, or the Emergency Measures Act, and they used the financial lever more than because the police force, you don't need a special law to bring the police to clear a street if people are camping there for 3 weeks. Like, you don't need to create a special police force. You have it already. There's how many corps of police in Canada? Like, come on, you can have the number required to clear the street. It's anyway. Where was I going with that? So yeah, so they took the financial lever to really scare people. That works more than the army, than the muscle and the matraque and the gas and all the stuff they throw at them. They just use the financial lever and boop. Now that's it. So financial control was far easier. It's always easier. Nobody questioned anything because they were independent. On a personal level, this makes any person feel good. The ego is satisfied by the myth of independence, when the reality is that most are just pawns in a game. The definition of independence has never been asked for. Oxford Webster Dictionary is satisfactory enough for most. Is a person in a prison with metal bars not independent? They can think what they like, dream what they like, put their attention where they want to. That's your freedom, to put your attention wherever you want during the day. The only real independence anyone ever had was to put their attention where they wanted. The devil, or the divine, this independence is called free will and cannot be taken away by any outside entity or force. Unless one misuses it to an extent that, amidst the twists and tangles, one feels one doesn't have a choice anymore. Any other independence which is sold in this world is a soap bubble, which, as we all know, is not something which lasts too long. All these independents do is create an unhumble attitude. Because after all, even the Jedis are dependent on the Force. Boom. It's crazy because housing prices are skyrocketing and only the super rich almost can afford to buy a home, and the corrupt Federal Reserve privately owned bank is jacking up interest. Yeah, same like here. The federal in the States, you print money also. So wherever you're in a country and they print their own money, you're in shit. You're in shit. That's why here it's printed like crazy. Like the Trudeau government, I think, has spent more money in his term that he's there than 5 other prime minister total in their stuff. Than the 5 previous prime ministers. So he's spending. But again, it's by design. All this is to bring at one point probably their one world government and stuff. It's all full. But again, I don't want to be too pessimist with that because I want to sleep at night. So, wow. Yeah. That's what it is. So, the Jedis are dependent on the Force. So, tomorrow we will look at the land. That's the one I have here. We're maybe halfway through the book. Yeah, maybe half. And after that, we'll review my own book and maybe modify some stuff and to finally put it out, print it, and get it. Don't know if it's going to be published officially or something, but I'll check that out. What can be done about it? So bliss, large up. All of you here, Norm. That's it. Rise and shine. Give thanks. Be grateful for life. And I'll see you again in a few hours. 12 hours, I'm back here. So large up. See ya. Boom.